What's going on, Jerome's talking about expectations for the 2022 football season for our Minnesota Vikings. What would it take for the Vikings this year to achieve for you to consider it a success? Now, there's huge spectrums. Like on one end, you had like my grandma's like, what? Well, I just hope that they try real hard and have a good time. And then if that happens, they're a winner. Orange slices after the game, and then we're going to Pizza Ranch. Yeah, for the buffet. Yeah, Kirk's spine. And then at the other end, it's like, every season you don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure. It's a whole, if you're not first, you're last mentality. But I feel like Vikings fans, we're all over the place, right? But for me personally, of course, Super Bowl homeboy, hosted at Jerome Barty for the first time of 12 times in the next 10 years certainly would be nice. But Vikings last year, 8-9, you could say that they may have even overachieved at 8-9 the way that some of the management was handling things last year, even though they had a very talented football team. Just too many close games that were just given away now, etc. But adofo-mensah and Kevin O'Connell, they largely kept the band together, brought in a nice draft class, brought in some nice supplemental free agents. And now, what's your expectations? Well, first off, you got to improve on 8 wins. That's a given. I think that if the Vikings get to double-digit wins, I think that would absolutely be a win, pun intended. And we're talking about competing for the NFC North because, the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, even though they're still up in everyone's top 5 in terms of power rankings, even though they lost Devontae Adams, who we can say now is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Okay, defense is solid, sure, but Aaron Rodgers, another year older, another year unwiser with a stupid-ass tattoo. Yes, go ahead. Bears, non-factor. I think that they're going to be in line for the number 1 overall pick. And the Lions are a little ways away. I like what they're doing in the Motor City, but they need a little bit more time to marinate. So I would say that winning the division should be, obviously a priority, but also that should be a part of expectations this year as well. And then you get to the playoffs. So 1 seed, whatever, NFC is sorted down on paper this year, sure. But I think at minimum, you have to win at least 1 playoff game. I think that there has to be at least an appearance in the NFC title game. And then I think that's our line of demarcation right now. Because obviously, getting to the Super Bowl would be fantastic. But if you're setting the line of double-digit wins, winning the division, as well as at least winning a playoff game and making some headway, I think that's a pretty good start for year 1 of the Kevin O'Connell, adofo-mensah regime. Because remember, there's going to be a bit of an overhaul. The defense is certainly going to go over some change, moving to a 3-4, and also you're introducing a lot of new concepts on the defensive front. Even though the Vikings, they got some talent, man, especially if Daniil and Za'Darius stay healthy, knocking on all the wood. Offensively, I think the Vikings are going to be fine. The offensive line hopefully is going to gel this year. Dalvin's still one of the best running backs in the game. The Vikings have the best wide receiver core in the National Football League. And then Kirk Cousins, if he's protected, working with Kevin O'Connell, they can do some great things. So the offense is going to be perfectly legit. But remember, even though the Vikings are studded with a couple of great veterans, and this is still a relatively young team. And saying that, hey, they should go 17-0, win the Super Bowl by 50. Probably not there, even though obviously we would take that. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll be amongst the stars, that sort of thing. Where I think baby steps, double-digit wins, win the division, win a playoff game, and then go from there. Would you say that everything else is gravy? Could you say that this year could be like year 3 of Zach Taylor with the Bengals? Like, hey, we're just happy to make the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll make some, we'll make some steps from there. Possibly. But I think that's the minimum this year. Again, double-digit wins, win the division, win a playoff game, and then everything else is just sort of gravy on top of the cake. Who doesn't love a good gravy cake? But obviously, you have to build from there, because if you achieve those this year, next year there's going to be more ramped up expectations. Ed down until 6th round, which he probably will, which is kind of great, where if you have a young head coach on one side of the ball, having an older veteran coach who maybe doesn't have aspirations to be a head coach, they just want to work with their side of the ball, that's perfect, because then you have continuity. You don't have that consistent turnover. pun intended. So the Vikings keep things going on offense, defense, and special teams, and then all of a sudden next year, hey, instead of double-digit wins, let's make it 13 wins. Instead of just winning the division, let's sew things up by week 15. Instead of, hey, winning one playoff game, let's win multiple. We have to make an appearance in the Super Bowl, and then it moves on from there. But that's it for us right now. Let us know what your expectations for the Vikings are. Like, what's your line of demarcation? Like, what's your over-under this year for the Vikes? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, no production value.